Welcome friends to my channel Neeraj Kapse. So myself Neeraj Kapse. So today we are going to learn about addressing modes of 8051. Okay, so there are total 5 addressing modes of 8051, and these addressing modes are very important in order to access your memory or in order to write a program and in order to access all the things of all the internals of your 8051 microcontroller. Okay, so before starting with the lecture, those who are not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and also press notification bell icon for getting next upcoming updates. Okay, if you like this lecture, after this lecture, please don't forget to press like button. Also, you just write a comment in the comment box. Okay, now we'll start with the lecture. What are the addressing modes? So we have total 5 addressing modes. So which are those? So CPU accesses the data in various ways, which are called as an addressing mode. In what way the CPU accesses the data, based on that way the addressing modes are to be. So first addressing mode is register addressing mode. Okay, then we have this is specifically for accessing the registers. Then we have a direct addressing mode. This is specifically for accessing memory or a direct memory address. Next is indirect addressing mode. This is for indirectly access the memory with the pointer. So for this we are using a pointer to access the memory. Then we have immediate addressing mode. So this is a direct or immediate constant we can pass through this immediate addressing mode. So this is very basic addressing mode, and to handle the data immediately, we are going to use this immediate addressing mode. Then we have an indexed addressing mode. So this is to access the code memory or to access the lookup table. We are going to use this indexed addressing mode. So these are the 5 addressing modes. So from this 5 addressing modes, so this direct addressing mode, indirect addressing mode, and indexed addressing mode, these are memory related addressing modes. So if you look at this, so we can call it as memory related addressing modes. So which are those memory related addressing modes? So we have here direct, then we have indirect, and then we have indexed addressing mode. So these 3 addressing modes are memory related addressing modes. So this one, direct addressing mode, indirect addressing mode, and indexed addressing mode. These are memory related addressing modes. So by using this addressing modes, you can access the memory of a microcontroller. Okay, we'll move forward. So very first addressing mode is the immediate addressing mode. So immediate addressing mode is used to store, this is a very basic addressing mode. It is used to store either 8-bit or a 16-bit constant value as a source of operand. So you can store 8-bit as well as a 16-bit value. So the thing is, for storing 16-bit value, you must use a 16-bit registers, and for storing 8-bit value, you must use 8-bit of a registers. This is a constant specified by in the instruction rather than the register or a memory location. So we can pass a constant in this instead of a register or a memory location. We can pass constant in the immediate addressing mode. The destination register would hold the same data size which is specified by the source operand. Just now we have discussed that if the destination register is a 16-bit, then we need to pass a 16 bits of a data. If the destination register is 8-bit, then we need to pass a 8 bits of a data. So here it is an example. So for an immediate addressing mode, this hash symbol is very important. So whenever you are writing the hash, then only it is considered as an immediate value. So if there is if you forgot to write a hash, then it will not be considered as an immediate value. So hash is very important. So here it is an example: add a comma hash 30. So it will add the accumulator previous value of the accumulator with a 30 immediate value. Okay, so it is a 8-bit of a register. Okay, that's why we are passing here 8-bit of a data. Then move DPTR. So DPTR is a 16-bit of a register. Then here again hash symbol is important. So hash is written and 0FE00. So this will load DPTR. After this instruction, DPTR contents are DPTR is equals to 0FE00. Okay, and after this the addition it will take add only 30. Okay, like this. For the immediate addressing mode, the hash is very important. Again, the source operand is a constant. So in this case, for the immediate addressing mode, you can have the source operand is a constant one. So whatever the destination or whatever the source you are taking, that is a constant. Destination is either any of the registers. Okay, so here it is a destination and here it is a source. Okay, you can look at these instructions. The source is constant only. The immediate data must be preceded by the pound symbol, that is a hash symbol. So hash symbol is very important. Can load information into any of the registers, including 16-bit of a DPTR. Okay, you can load using 16-bit of a DPTR register as well. DPTR is also accessed with 8-bit wise register. Like we can have DPH, that is data pointer higher bytes, and DPL that is data pointer lower bytes. So you can access this through this as well. Okay, so I will give you example here. So how the example works. So here it is a first instruction, move a comma hash 25h. So this will load 25 immediate value. Hash is there, that's why it's the immediate addressing mode. It loads this 25 immediate value into accumulator. So accumulator, after this instruction, accumulator contents are 25h. So here it is move R4 comma 62. Here the h is not specified. That's why this value is considered as a decimal. So internally it's going to convert this decimal into hexadecimal, and appropriate hexadecimal of 62 is loaded into the R4. Move B comma hash 40h. So it will load 40h into the B register. Here it is a 16-bit value. So 16-bit register is a DPTR. So we need to pass a 16-bit value. So here DPTR comma hash 4521, that is 4521 is a 16-bit value, so that will be moved into the DPTR. Again, this DPTR you can access with either DPH, that is data pointer higher bytes, and DPL, that is data pointer lower bytes. So how to access this DPL? So for that instruction is move DPL comma hash 21. So here it is a lower byte. So this lower byte will be moved into a data pointer lower bytes, and move DPH comma hash 45h. So this will load 45h into the higher bytes as well. So this is the same way, but the thing is the DPTR 16-bit is there, but maximum value is 65535. So we cannot load 68975. So here it is a illegal value, because only the maximum value it supports is 65535. So based on this particular value, how this value comes, 2 raised to 16. So 2 raised to 16 is equals to 65536 actually, but it starts with a 0 to 65535. Okay, so total values are 65535. So it supports only these values. So only if you convert this decimal value into hexadecimal, you will get FFFF. So maximum you can load FFFF into a DPTR. Also in a 8-bit register you can load up to FF only. So maximum you can load up to 255 values. So 0 to 255. That is 256 actually. 2 raised to 8 is 256, but we need to consider 0 as well. That's why only till 255 we can load into the 8-bit of a register, and for the 16-bit of a register we can load up to 65535. Okay, here again we can use a equate directive. So just in the previous lecture we have learned about this equate directive. So there are directives available in the microcontroller. So here I can equate the count to a 30. So this instruction will equate this count. One memory block is allocated, and it is named as a count, and the value loaded is 30. Then I can move that count. If it is a 8-bit value, then I can move it into any of the 8-bit register like this. Move R4 comma hash count. So this means it will load this 30 into respect to 30. 30 is a decimal value, so we need to convert this 30 into a hexadecimal. So after converting 30 into hexadecimal, that is to be 1EH. So that is this value is loaded into R4. Here move DPTR comma hash my data. So I can have my data. So I can write my data equate to 200H. So this 200H will be loaded into the DPTR as well. So here it is given my data is a label. So this is known as a label. So label is given, and DB is a directive, again data byte, and this is contains America in that. So we can use immediate addressing mode to send 8051 data to the ports as well. So like this we can write move P1 comma hash 55H, means that P1 is having some memory address, and on that particular address the 55H will be loaded. Okay, so this is the way we can use the immediate addressing mode. Okay, so we'll move forward. Second addressing mode is a register addressing mode. So what is there in the register addressing mode? So in the register addressing mode, the instructions involves information transfer between the registers. So between the registers, there is a information transfer in the register addressing mode. For example, move R0, A. So the syntax of this is for the register addressing mode is the instruction. Okay, so move is the instruction. Then the destination we need to write. Okay, comma, we need to write a source. We need to specify a source. So here the source is A. So here A is the source and the destination is R0 and the move instruction. So it copies the accumulator data into R0. So here the instruction transfers the accumulator content into R0. The register bank you can use R0, 1, 2, 3 must be specified prior to the instruction. So if you write like this and if you are not considered any of the register bank, then by default the bank 0 gets selected and rest of the thing will be transferred into the bank 0 only. Then if you want to change the bank, then we need to configure the PSW as per your requirement. Okay. Here there are some examples I have given with a register addressing mode. So you can look at this. Use the register to hold the data to be manipulated. You can use different registers to be used for data to be manipulated. Move A, R0. So means it will copies the R0 content into accumulator. Move A, R2, R2, A. This copies A into R2. Add A, R5, so it adds A with R5, it adds the contents of R5 with accumulator and the result is stored into accumulator itself. Add A, R7, it adds the value of R7 with accumulator values and the result is stored into accumulator itself. Move A, R6, A means what? It copies the accumulator content into RC, saves the accumulator content into RC. The source and destination of the registers must match the size. So here move DPTR, A. This is not a valid instruction. Why? Because A is a 8-bit of a register and DPTR is a 16-bit of a register. So like this instruction is illegal or it will give an error. So you need to match source size and a destination size. So this is legal. So move DPTR, has 25 F5. So this is a 16-bit of a value and then DPTR is again 16-bit of a register. So that this instruction is a valid instruction. Again move R7, DPL. So here again DPL is a 8-bit of a register and R7 is again 8-bit of a register. So this instruction is valid. Move R6, DPH. This instruction is also valid. The movement of a data between RN registers is not allowed. Like between two registers is invalid. Like move R0, R4, R7 is invalid. So this is not a facility provided by the microcontroller. So you have to, if you want to copy the R7 content into R4, then we need to copy first R7 content into accumulator, and then we need to write this. So to execute this particular instructions, first instruction we need to write as move R7. So move A, R7. Sorry. A, R7 is a so if you want to move, if you want to copy the contents of R7 to R4. So how to do that? So for that we need to copy first move accumulator, move R7 content into accumulator first, and then move R4 accumulator content into R4. So these two instructions we need to use. You cannot use like this instruction. So move R4, R7 is invalid. So this will give you an error. So this is an error instruction. Okay. So remember this thing always. All right. So next we'll move. Next is a direct address. Okay. So next is direct addressing mode. So in this direct addressing mode, this allows you to specify the operand by giving its memory address, actual memory address, typically specified the hexadecimal format. So we need to format, give the memory address in the hexadecimal format and giving its abbreviated name as well. So, okay. So here is the example. So data transfer contents from port 3 to the accumulator. Move A, port 3. So here port 3 is SFR. SFR stands for special function register, and also we can move A, 20H. So this transfers the contents of RAM location 20H to the accumulator. So 20H data will be transferred to the accumulator. Okay. So there is a huge difference between move A, #20H and move A, comma 20h. So if you consider hash there, then this is the immediate addressing mode. So like I will write here move a comma hash 20h, and I will write another example move a comma 20h. So both the instructions are different. So this instruction is example of immediate addressing mode. This moves the 20h data, 20h value into the accumulator, but this instruction will move the data present at 20h into the accumulator. Okay. So this is about direct addressing mode. So this is about the direct addressing mode. We'll see in detail this thing. So in the direct addressing mode, it is often used for direct addressing mode accesses the RAM location 30h to 7fh. So 30h to 7fh, the entire 120 bytes of a RAM can be accessed. The register bank location can be accessed with the register names as well. So here we can have move a comma 4, so is the same as move a comma r4, where r4 memory address is a 4 only, okay, because of this bank 0. In contrast with the immediate addressing mode, there is a no hash symbol. So always remember, in a direct addressing mode there is a no hash symbol. So we can have move r0 comma 40h. So this saves the content of 40h into the r0. So we can have move 56 comma a. So this will move the contents of accumulator at the address of 56h. So this is about direct addressing mode. So the direct addressing mode uses SFRs. So SFR stands for special function register. Special function registers. Sorry. Okay, so again the SFRs are used here. The SFR stands for special function registers. Okay, it can be accessed by their names and by their addresses. Like we can have move 0e0 comma hash 55h. This is the same as that of move a comma 55h, because the a address is 0e0. So you can have a list of addresses of each of the registers. Then you can use these addresses as well in the direct addressing mode. Here the B addresses is 0f0. So B is located at 0f0. So we can write like this move 0f0h comma r0. So this is same as that of move b comma r0. Okay, as the SFRs having the addresses between 80 to ff. So the above 7f, that is SFR bank, will start as this we have seen in the memory organization. Also in the description I will give the link for memory. Not all the addresses of 80 to FF can be used by the SFRs. So there are some addresses, these are reserved addresses. The unused addresses from 80 to FF are reserved and must not be used by 8051 programmer. So for the programmer, those addresses are not available. They cannot be used, these particular addresses. And those addresses list is given. I will explore you a list. Here I can give the details about the SFR addresses. So accumulator is located at 0E0. Then B register is there, it is located as 0F0. The star indicates these are the bit addressable. So bit addressable means we can have whatever the star is written, that is a bit addressable. Okay. So again PSW is there. So PSW is located at 0D0. So PSW is there, that is located at 0D0. ISP is a stack pointer, again located at 81H. Then we have a data pointer. So data pointer is divided into two registers. One is a DPL and DPH. So DPL is data pointer lower bytes and DPH is a data pointer higher bytes. So DPL is located at 82H and DPH is located at 83H. Port 0 is again a bit addressable and that is located at 80H. Port 1 is again a bit addressable and that is located at 90H. Port 2 is again bit addressable, that is located at 0A0. Port 3 is located at 0B0. So you have to remember this thing, accumulator address. So I will tick the things which you need to remember, the addresses. So you need to remember accumulator, you need to remember B register, then we need to remember the ports addresses, port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. It's very easy. You can start with 80, 90, 0A0 and B0. So you have to go straight forward, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So like this. Okay, then we have interrupt priority. IP stands for interrupt priority register. So again this is a bit addressable and the location of this is 0B8H. Then interrupt enable register is there. This for interrupt control, 08A8H. Okay, then few more are there. So we'll have T mod is there. So timer mod register. So this is located at 89H. We can have timer control register. This is again star is indicated, that is bit addressable, and that is located at 88H. T2 con is there, that is timer 2 control register, and that is located at 0C8H. T2 mod is there, that is timer 2 mod register, that is located at 0C9H. TH0, that is timer higher bytes, that is 8C. Timer lower bytes, that is located at 8A. TH1 is located at 8D. TL1 is located at 8BH. TH2 is located at 0CDH. TL2 is there, so TL2 is located at 0CCH. Then R2 cap, that is a register, capture compare mode register and capture compare mode higher bytes and lower bytes. These are located at 0CB and 0CAH respectively. SCON is serial control register, so this is located at 98H. SBUF is serial buffer register, you can read buffer from 99H, and PCON is a power control register, that is different power modes are there, that is idle mode, run mode, sleep mode, so that those we can control with this particular register, and that is located at 87H. So you have to remember only this TIC6 register addresses. One is accumulator, that is 0E0, F0 is for B, P0, P1, that is 80, 90, A0 and B0, P0, P1, P2 and P3. So you have to remember only these 6 addresses. Okay. So this is about special function registers. Then here we can take one program that write a code to send 55H to the ports P1 and P2. With by their names and second by their addresses. So before writing the code, we must know that what is the address for P0. P0 address is 80. P0 is located at 80H. P1 is located at 90H. P2 will be located at 0A0H, and P3 is located at 0B0H. Okay, so we have the addresses now. 0A0 is the address for P2 and 90 is the address for P1. Okay, so without using addresses by their names, we can write like this. We can take the data into the accumulator, move A comma hash 55H, because this is the immediate data. Then we can move like this, move P1 comma A. So this will load 55H into the P1, and move P2 comma A. This will load 55H into the P2 as well. Now second is with their addresses. Okay, how to use addresses? So we have their addresses here. So here port 1 address is 90. So here it is a mistake in the book that it should be a 90H. Okay, so move A comma hash 55H. P1 addresses is 90. So here it is 90. There is a mistake. So 90 P1 is 55. H will be moved at 0A0, that is B. 0A0 is the port 2 address. So that is moved again with a 0A0. So with the address we can move like this. Okay. So these are the two instructions here. Okay. Also, you can use this stack access by using this direct addressing mode. Only the direct addressing mode is allowed to access the pushing and popping of the data. So pushing and popping means you are pushing the data to the stack, and you are popping means getting the data from the stack. So it is putting the data, this, and it is popping the data. Okay. So push A is invalid. So push A is invalid. So we need to write here address of this A. So push 0E0H is valid instruction. So this is a valid instruction, but we cannot specify A directly here. The pushing accumulator onto the stack must be coded as push 0E0. So we need to provide the address of each and every register. So push 05 means it loads R5 register. Push 0E0 means it loads or it pushes the data of accumulator onto the stack. Pop means it is taking back the data. 0F0 means you have already pushed it and we need to get it back, that is 0F0. And pop 02 means it will reload the R2 register again from the stack. Okay. So push and pop is used with just direct addressing mode. Next addressing mode is the indirect addressing mode. So indirect addressing mode uses the pointer to hold the addresses. So it uses the pointer to hold the addresses with the effective address as an operand. So here only the register R0 and R1 and DPTR can be used as in pointers. So we can use only R0, R1 and DPTR can be used as an pointer for this indirect addressing mode. So where R0 and R1 registers can hold 8 bits of address. So this holds the 8 bit of address, and if you want to hold the 16 bit of address, then we need to use a DPTR, because DPTR is a 16 bit register. So here it is an example of this indirect addressing mode. Move @ of R0, A. Okay, so what it will do, it will load the accumulator with the pointer presented by R0. Okay, it stores the content of accumulator into a memory location pointed by R0. So R0 could have an bit address such as 60H. So it will move the accumulator data onto the 60H. So here again MOVX is used to write the data, again in direct addressing mode, MOVX a comma at the rate of DPTR. So whatever the DPTR is pointed, the 8 bit of data will be copied from that particular address location towards the accumulator. So like it will copy the data from 1234H towards the accumulator. Okay, so I will give you an example of this, how it works. So I guess in the next directory I have given. Okay, we'll complete this and I'll give you the example of this now. So register indirect addressing mode. Register can be used as a pointer in this register indirect addressing mode. Like only R0 and R1 are supported for this register indirect addressing mode. R2 to R7 cannot be supported for this register indirect addressing mode, which holds the address of an operand located in the RAM. Then also when R0 and R1 holds the addresses of a RAM locations, then which at the rate symbol is used for register indirect addressing mode. So at the rate symbol is required for this particular thing. So here is an example. Move a comma at the rate of R0 means what? It loads the contents of pointer which is pointed by R0. Again move at the rate of R1 B. So this loads the contents of B register into the RAM, which is given by R1. Okay, here we go. We have the problem statement on the screen. Okay, so enable the tools. Yeah, so what's the problem statement? Write a program to copy the value 55H into the RAM location from 40H to 41H. So we need to copy 55H from 40 to 41H. There are two memory locations. We need to copy this same value using different addressing modes. So first we need to follow this direct addressing mode. Second, we need to follow the register indirect addressing mode. So we need to pass a memory location directly, but indirect addressing mode, in the indirect addressing mode without a loop, and also we can have with a loop as well. Okay, so there are three problem statements in this. So very first thing is a direct addressing mode. So I can specify the direct value here. So this instruction move a comma hash 55H, it loads this value. So I will open the programming sheet, and so that we'll discuss there better way. Yeah, here it is. So in this case it is written that move a comma hash 55. So first accumulator contents will be 55H. So A will get 55H. Okay, in the next instruction we here we passed a 40H, that is direct a memory location. So this is a memory location 40H, and it is having a memory space. So this will transfer the data of accumulator, that is 55U, into this. So after this it loads with this 55H. Next is 41H comma A. Again this is a 41H. This is again a memory location. Over here again it will load the same accumulator data, that is 55H, and the value will be stored here, that is a 55H. Okay, in the second problem statement it is mentioned that you need to register indirect addressing mode. So in the register indirect addressing mode we need to pass the register indirectly. So I will erase this, and I'm going to explain it to you again, the thing what is happening in the second thing. So again we first write accumulator with 55H. So accumulator contents are 55H. Then next is R0. So R0 we are just taking as in pointer. So R0 contents are 40H. So this is my first contents, and then I can write at the rate of R0. So this instruction, what it will do, move at the rate of R0 means what it will do, it will load the accumulator contents pointed by this 40. Okay, so this is my memory locations 40, 41H, 42H, so on. So these are my memory locations. So my data will be stored in this particular memory locations. So if I execute this particular instruction, move at the rate of R0 comma A, so A contains 55, that 55 value will be loaded in the memory location pointed by R0. So R0 is 40, so it will be loaded at that particular memory location. So after this instruction, the 40H will be data will be 55. Then increment R0. So once you increment the R0, now my R0 contents are 41H. So this becomes 41H. So here it is a 41H, and whenever you increment this and again you use this move at the rate of R0 comma A, so again A content will be transferred to 41H. So my data will be 55H here. Okay, so in the third problem statement, what we have with a loop. By using a loop, you can do the same thing. Again, in this very first line is move A comma hash 55H. So accumulator contents are 55H. Okay, then move R0 comma 40H. So this is my pointer address 40H. Sorry, this is my R0. So R0 contains 40H. So where is this? Sorry, done it wrong way. So this is my R0. H is there. So I have again memory addresses here. So these are 40, 41, 42. So this is my 40H, 41H and 42H. Okay, when we have another counter as a R2. So R2 is there. So this is my another counter that is having 02. So this loads this 02 into the R2. Now first thing, move at the rate of R0 comma A. So accumulator contents will be moved to the 40H. So this loads 55H into this. Again, when you call INC R0, so R0 contents are 41. So once you call that, R0 contents are 41. Earlier it was a 40, now it becomes 41. So again, DZNZ R2 comma 1. So it is a decrement, jump it now 0. So it becomes 1. This is 1. So again, it will go to again. Okay. So here it is a loop like this. So it jumps here. The PC will jump here. And then again it will load A to the at the rate of R0. R0 now pointing towards 41. So A contents, that is 55H, will be moved here again. Okay. So again it decrement R2 by 1. So now R2 contains are 00. Sorry. R2 contains are 00. Now this instruction fails, it comes out of the loop. So like this it executes. Okay. So both the way it executes the same thing. All right, back to the main programming part. Okay, so this is the program we already discussed. Next program we'll see register indirect addressing mode. So in the register indirect addressing mode, we pass indirect address of the register. Okay, so I'll use a highlighter. The advantage of that register indirect addressing mode is it makes accessing of a data dynamically rather than direct addressing mode. So you can access the data dynamically. Looping is not possible in direct addressing mode, but in register indirect addressing mode, the looping is possible. So for example, we can discuss one program, write a program to clear 16 RAM locations. So we need to clear 16 RAM locations starting from 60H. So we can have one pointer that is 16. So this is my pointer. Okay, I took a pointer in R7. My initial location is a 60, so I can make this 60. Clear A, so A becomes 00. Now I can do move at the rate of R1 comma A. So it will do like this, increment the R1 and decrement R7. So this will execute this particular loops. So this will execute these statements for 16 times. Okay. So every time it's going to execute the same thing. So I'm going to with the help of journal. So here it is 16 RAM location I need to load. So very first thing, this is my A. So my A contains, when you write clear A contains 00. Now I have the RAM locations are here. So I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so on till 16 RAM locations are there. So my starting address of the RAM location is starting with, here it is a 60H. So my starting address is 60H. Here it is 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, so on. Okay, till 16 addresses are there. Then when you call this one counter we have used, that is R7. So R7 is my counter. So R7 is counter contains value is 16. So my counter value is loaded here. So very first instruction, it clears the A. So A becomes 0 0. R1 contains 60. So my R1 is 60 now. Okay, this is the initial pointer. I have R7 is 16. So R7 is 16. Move at the rate of R1 comma A. So A contains a 0 0. At the rate of R1 means 0 0 will be moved pointed by R1. R1 is pointing 60. So my 0 0 will be loaded here. Okay, now increment R1. So R1 incrementing means what? This. Okay, so this is becomes 60 to 61. Okay, again decrement R7 again. So it's going to decrement R7. R7 is 16. So after decrementing it becomes 15. So same memory location is updated 15. Now again it goes to loop. So this is here again. So again A comma at the rate of R1. R1 contains 61. So it is pointed towards 61. So this data again A I am not changed. So again 0 0. So it will repeat the steps so on. So after executing 16 times you will get here all the clearing of the RAM locations. Okay. So this is the program for clearing the RAM locations. Alright, so next we'll move block transfer. So in this case, write a program to copy 10 bytes of a data from 35H to 60H. So we need to have two memory pointers. One is a 35H and a 60H, and then we need to move the data from one block to another block. Okay, so 10 counter is there. So 10 bytes we need to transfer. So how to do that? We'll see in the journal file. Okay. So I have two memory locations. One is 35H. So I have two memory blocks. Sorry. This is my first memory block. And this is my second memory block. Okay, so altogether 10 locations are there. Another two memory locations. So this block is starting with 35H and second block is starting with 60H as per the question. Then there are 10 memory locations. What is the copy the block from 35H to 60H. So block contain data, suppose 25, 01, 03, 02, 05, 06, 07, 08, 11 and FF. Suppose this is my data, and the thing is I am taking R3 as a counter. So I will use another ink for understanding this. Use red color ink. So my initial state R0, my initial state R0 contains 35U. All are H, so I will not write H. R1 contains 60. Okay, and my R3 is my counter. R3 contains 10. It's in decimal. Okay, so very first instruction, move at the rate of R0 comma A. So R0 means 35. So after this instruction executes, A contains what? A contains 25. So this accumulator gets 25H. So again I am moving that A to at the rate of R1. So R1 is pointing towards 60H. So this 25H will be moved to a 60H. So after this you will get like this. So increment R0. So R0 is incremented. Means what? R0 update is, instead of 35 it becomes 36. And also you can increment this R1. So instead of 60 it becomes 61. Okay. Again decrement R3 means what? Here it is R3 available. So R3 value is 10, is decremented, and you will get 09 over there. Okay. Again it will go back now. So it is not 0, that's why it go back, move A comma at the rate of R0. Now R0 contains 36. So what is my 36? 01. So my accumulator data will be 01. So it is like this. So here it is 01. So this 01 will be transferred again to at the rate of R1. R1 is 61. So 01 will be moved here. Similarly 03, 02, 05, 06, 07, 08, 11 and FF. And at that last you will get here R3 is 00. So like this it executes the command. Okay, so this is about block transfer. It is not an exchange, just we are transferring the block from one block to the another block. Now last addressing mode is the indexed addressing mode. So in the index addressing mode, the index addressing is useful when there is need to retrieve the data from a lookup table. To access the lookup table, the index addressing mode is used. Okay, 16-bit register, that is data pointer, is used, which holds the address of a base address, and the accumulator holds an address of 8-bit displacement register with the index value. हॅलो, हां मी लेक्चरमध्ये आहे, काय काम होतं का? हो मी बिझी आहे, काय दुसरं काय काम होतं का? The sum of these two registers are effective from jump and moc. Okay, then here it is an instruction moc @a plus dptr is used. This is the index addressing mode instruction, which gets the value from the table. Starting address plus offset is put in a. Okay, so every time offset it will add from the a, and starting address from the table. So the dptr is the starting address. Alright, so how this index addressing works? So index addressing mode is widely used to access the lookup tables in the entries. This instruction is for purpose moc @a plus dptr. So every time we need to write moc, where C stands for a code memory. Okay, and it can be loaded with 16-bit of a dptr address. Okay, so here it is an example. We can use a lookup table to find the values frequently. Write a program to get X value from a P1. Okay, so we'll receive the value from a port 1 and then send X square to the port 2. So we'll make the X square and then we'll send it to the port 2. So for that, here it is a program written org00. So it's the initial stage. Move dptr, 300h. So it is a starting address. Move a, hash ff. This means accumulator contains ff. We make this port 1 as an input port, so by sending that ff to the port 1, again move a p1 comma a. So whatever the input is there, we are taking into accumulator. Now move c is required. So here it is, some mistake is there in the program, so we need to write move c p2 comma a. So this will loads the contents of dptr into the accumulator. Okay, so my dptr is initiated with 300. So here I have written there is a square table in the dptr, like if it is 0 then 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 4, 9, 16. So these are the square values. If it is suppose a values are 2, so it will go to this memory location and it will load this particular 4 value into a p2. So sorry, moc is upward. This moc is required here. moc a plus dptr, and again move p2 comma a. So this will move to the p2, jump back, so again it will go and repeat the steps. Okay, so this is to get the square of a number. Next, bit addressable RAM. So we have a bit addressable RAM in the microcontroller. There are 20h to 2fh are the bit addressable memory locations. So 16 bytes provides 128 bits of bit addressable RAM. Whereas 16 by 8 is 128 total bits are there. First byte of internal RAM starting with 20h and has 0 to 7h. Okay, and the last byte is 2fh and it has the bit addresses 70h to 7fh, where the internal RAM locations are 20 to 2fh. Okay, both are byte addressable as well. So here it is a memory locations. So you can look at this till 1f. There are the banks. Okay, so from 00 to 07, this is a bank 0. Bank 1 is 8 to f. 10 to 17, this is bank 2. Okay, and then 18 to 1f is bank 3. From 20 to 2f, it is a bit addressable area. So this bit addressable area is again given a specific number. Okay, so 07 is a number for this, 06, 05, 04, 03. So we can use these numbers for addressing each particular bit of this particular value. So again 30 to 7f, these are the general purpose RAM. So here we can use it as scratchpad RAM as well. Okay, above 7f there are the SFRs. So from 80 you can look at the SFRs. Okay, so here is one program to find out which give the addresses of the RAM bytes. Okay, so set bit 42H and clear 67H, clear 0FH, set bit 28H, clear 2212, set bit 05. So after that, when you write this set bit 42H, so 42H is available here, so this will set this particular bit. Okay, 28. Location is 28H. D7 in the RAM of C0H. Okay, here it is 67. Then 0F is located here. There is 21. RAM location is 21. This RAM location is 25 for 28. 12 is located here. So 0C is 21 is located there. 12 is located here. So it is a mistake, I guess. And 05 is located here. So you can have a RAM location is 20. Alright, so like this we covered the addressing mode. Okay, so we'll end up with the lecture session. Alright, so how you feel this lecture, just write in the comment box. Also, if you like this particular lecture, then don't forget to press the like button. And if you're not subscribed my channel, then please press the subscribe button and for next upcoming updates. Thank you for listening. Thank you.